Now, I have an internal desire to be charitable, but I also have an internal desire to not be charitable because, like, I don't know that he deserves the charity. I don't know that he does. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that he deserves it, but we'll see. What was I gonna say? I don't remember. Oh, right. I like to give people charitability when I do feel like they deserve the charitability or like they will recognize the charitability. But I feel like Ethan Klein might be too far gone to even notice when people are being charitable to him because he hyper focuses on all of the stuff that people say that he doesn't like, which makes me think like, well, why would I give a fuck? Like at that point. But that is, again, neither here nor there. Let's watch it. So for anyone who somehow missed it, there was was it a veteran? I believe the term would be veteran, Aaron Bushnell, and he walked up to he was active duty. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't remember that. You have to understand all the news that I have been consuming for the past couple of days has been like with the fog of like me being sick on top of that. So I don't really, please, I would like a little bit of kindness and generosity from you guys. So, Aaron Bushnell, I'll read the headlines on it. He was 25 years old, and he set himself on fire in front of the Embassy of Israel in DC. He actually streamed it on Twitch, and it was a 2-3 minute stream. Obviously, his channel got banned and deleted because self-harm is banned on Twitch, so I can't show the video, but the video is available online for anyone who does want to see it. I do think I'm allowed to show like a photo. I think that that's fine. I think that that should be fine. And he in the stream he says that like he's not interested in being complicit in genocide any longer, and that what is happening in Palestine is um unconscionable, and he self-immolated as a form of protest against the US and the US's support for Israel. And the audio from the video is very haunting. Yeah, his last words are, free Palestine, free Palestine. And I think for most of us who have seen this, which I'm assuming it's almost everyone in here, I think all of us feel a sort of sense of respect, and a desire to honor his wishes. And I think most of us were very moved by it. Like I started crying when I watched it personally. Me personally. I can't speak for other people. Oh, this is the quote from the stream that he had. He said, "My name is Aaron Bushnell. I'm an active duty member of the United States Air Force, and I will no longer be complicit in genocide. I'm about to engage in extreme act of protest, but compared to what people have been experiencing in Palestine at the hands of their colonizers, it's not extreme at all. This is what our ruling class decided will be normal." Especially considering that what is happening in uh Palestine is like looking for the exact words to accurately describe it. Aaron knew the impact his life could have and took the opportunity to move the needle in the US. Yeah. Yeah, and to be clear, guys, I don't think anyone here, like, if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it because there's no There's nothing else
Just pulled
extra.
the experiencing card from my Zen Tarot deck as you said that word.
You
Such
should
a
rethink.
powerful stand. R.I.P. Aaron.
Damn. Rethink lack of mental fog? No, it's not that. This is not a mental fog problem. This is more of like, I want to, when covering things that I think are sensitive, I want to make sure that I'm using the right verbiage, and I want to make sure I am saying what I mean and I'm meaning what I say. So I like to think about it a little bit longer when it comes to stuff like that. So closer to, or not closer to, back to the point. I think a lot of us understand why he did what he did. And I think for a lot of people, and I mean, I've even seen this sentiment in chats, whether it be my chat or other people's chats, sort of a feeling of like helplessness and like hopelessness. Al Jazeera right now, breaking news about Israel agreeing to a ceasefire terms. I'll open it up while we finish this conversation. And then maybe we can cover it after the Ethan stuff. And it's a form of protest still. Also, you can't just view his actions like a suicide. That's like saying a soldier is staying behind to hold off an opposing force so people can retreat is deemed suicide. So the suicide glorification narrative is disingenuous. Fuck, my 2 cents at least. I think this is the most important thing. So we'll watch the clip in a second because the clip is very important. The Ethan clip is very important. But Ethan Klein suggests that there is no difference between self-immolation and suicide, and people need to stop being so sensitive about me calling what he did, Aaron Bushnell, suicide. I think the primary problem with that is that suicide has a very colloquial meaning in modern society. I mean, let's just see what the definition is. The act of intentionally causing one's death. So, did he act in a way that caused his own death? I mean, of course, yes. Is this under the law? Would this be considered a form of suicide? Yes, of course. But I think the problem is that socially, when we say suicide, what we mean is someone who killed themselves because they wanted to do that. We don't mean people who did it for a different reason. Generally speaking, when you use the word, and you guys can let me know if you disagree, it has a very negative connotation to it. And it has a very, when at the very least, when I think of the word suicide, or I think of someone who committed suicide, I think of someone who was like, I cannot bear the burden of being alive any longer. You are engaging in the means for the ends. Your primary goal is to stop existing. Whereas the goal for Aaron Bushnell was not to stop living. The goal was to get people to care more about this issue. Versus, in the example someone in chat gave, someone like staying behind to make sure everyone else lives. That is not someone that we would say is committing suicide, right? Because their goal is not death. Their goal is saving other people's lives. And the goal, I think, is the most important thing, which is, again, why most people don't call it suicide. Is it textbook suicide? Yeah. Is it under a legal definition? Did he commit suicide? Yes. Why do we have other words like self-immolation if we can just call this suicide? Well, we have other words because they express other types of suicide. And we, as a society, think that there is a very big difference between someone ending their life because they don't want to live anymore versus someone ending their life for a greater purpose or at the very least, in their personal opinion, a greater purpose. And I think the end goal is the important part. So I think people calling it suicide, it kind of cheapens it. Is it textbook illegal suicide? Yeah, of course. Yes. Aaron had a good tweet on self-immolation. Yeah, well, we'll get into it. Let's watch the clip, shall we? That's enough talking about the clip. Let's watch the clip.
My first reaction is this. It was absolutely insane how he stood the whole time. That was crazy. I don't even know how that's humanly possible.
Sorry, this is kind of quiet, so let me start over.
My first reaction is this. It was absolutely insane how he stood the whole time. That was crazy. I don't even know how that's humanly possible. Again, not to put this uncouth, but he's a champ at fucking burning alive. I mean, that sounds bad, but he did it really good. Does that bad sound bad?
Hello? He's a champ at burning alive? Oh my fucking God. Unfortunately, oh wait, I have an idea. No, because then it'll distort the audio, won't it? It's already on 1x. It's just someone recorded a 2x version.
Again, not to put this uncouth, but he's a
Why did the audio suddenly get loud? Okay.
champ at fucking burning alive. I mean, that sounds bad, but he did it really good. Does that bad sound bad?
What? Oh, it's not distorted? Oh, cool. Thank you.
We have to make levity of things. Does that sound bad that he was really good? I mean, but I mean that as a compliment.
I don't even feel like I need to add commentary to this is insane. That is insane to say. It is insane to not think about your wording a little bit better when you're talking about someone who gave their life for a cause. Like, how are you not thinking about your words a little bit better? Listen, all right, sometimes when it comes to anime, I don't really give a shit about how well I argue that the anime is good. And sometimes I'll be like, you know what? Fuck you. I don't care. I like the anime. I don't care. It's good anime. It's good. But it's fucking anime. Like, who cares? Or like arguing food takes. You can argue them pretty poorly. It's food. Who's going to get offended? No one. When you're talking about another human being, should you not try and show a little bit of respect? Should you not try and think about your words a little bit more? Just a little bit more. And like, here's the thing, he's way too old for me to give him a pass on like, oh, just one of those youngsters.
What the fuck are you guys angry about, you weirdos? What did I do? My God, stop. They're just saying, all I hear is Ethan no, but I don't understand what I've even fucking said. Oh, chewing? Yeah, I'll stop that. Maybe they're just talking about the chewing. Could that be?
Yeah, that's probably it.
Wait, what did I even say that to mean? Like, give me a fucking break. Holy shit. Didn't the guy do it because he wanted people to talk about it? Like that's what I'm doing. My point is this. First of all, I was stunned by the way that he stood through the whole thing. I mean, shit, that was wild. And really showed his true resolve to protest in that way. I can only imagine this. It's a horrific way to die, so pretty wild. That being said, I do not believe that it is good for people to be romanticizing or encouraging. I know it's not, I know people aren't doing that, but like the way people are romanticizing it is kind of fucked up, in my opinion.
I genuinely can't tell if he's being genuinely obtuse or if he's just trying to be like an asshole. But no one is romanticizing his death. At the very least, I haven't seen anyone that's romanticized his death. I've seen a lot of people who have shown respect and said, like, this guy, you know, he did the only thing that he thought that he could do, and I want his death to not be in vain, and I want us to liberate the Palestinian people. But I don't think that that's romanticizing it. Romanticizing someone's death would be like, wow, I want to be just like them. But I don't think that there's anyone doing or saying anything like that. Let's admit that the kind of protest activity that has taken place thus far in the United States has not served to compel the U.S. government to compel a halt to the genocide in Gaza. Yeah, I mean, I think all forms of protesting are effective if only to show the Palestinian people that we are not idly standing by and don't give a fuck. And I would like to believe, perhaps naively, that there are Palestinian people who see all of these protests and they see that they are not, or rather that they see that they are, that they're not all alone and that people are watching what's happening. And I would like to believe that that helps them get through their day. Maybe that's a bit naive of me, and if so, it is what it is. But to continue, it's an open question on what could accomplish that. Aaron's action. Oh wait, I didn't finish that sentence. Sorry. The most effective protesting in the U.S. that I've seen so far was people physically tying themselves down to ships delivering basically weapons of war and delaying the transit of that. That's been pretty effective protesting, like in terms of direct action and like direct like achieving goals. But Aaron's action challenges us to answer the question and to answer it differently than he did from Crime Think. Basically, Aaron's act of protest makes us all question about ourselves. What happened to Ethan? He was just like, no, fuck self-introspection, time to find a reason not to do that. Yeah. At this point, protest is harm reduction. It says to the world, please don't 9/11 us for the bullshit our government are doing. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's a great point. Yeah. I mean, I would like to think that the Palestinian people see Americans that are not standing by and watching and saying, well, we don't care, or like, fuck you guys. And that I would like to think that they see that, like, we don't agree with our government. Actually, no. Also, 22 vets a day complete suicide because of the atrocities they've committed for our government. Fascists like Ethan don't give a shit about mental health at all. Yeah. We'll let the video continue.
The man, he killed himself. And I don't think we should ever.
Could also, I wanted to add something to this. Thank you, J. Marianne. When we finish these clips, I will watch that one. But this is a very good sentence here, and I want to talk about this. And then someone made a post on Twitter. I did not save it because I'm an idiot. Of people within Ethan Klein, H3H3's own subreddit, saying that they don't appreciate him continuing to talk about Palestine and Israel. And it was just a bunch of screenshots. If anyone has that post, please link it because I fucking lost it. And I would appreciate it, but we'll get into it. Okay.
Talk about that.
Oh, wait. Let me read this message and then we'll go through it. I do think it's a form of suicide, but the negative connotations behind the common reason of suicide or how we view it as a society do not apply to this act of selfless solidarity with 30,000 plus Palestinians that have been slaughtered by Zionists. Yeah. Just in case you're watching this, Ethan Klein, when I say Zionists, I don't mean Jews, you fucking idiot. I mean people that live in Israel who are excited to kill Palestinian people. And don't tell me they don't exist. When motherfucking Ben Gavir is getting a hard-on national news or television talking about how he's so excited to fucking raise all of Gaza. Okay. Please, let's be realistic for 2 seconds.
Issue with any kind of reverence. Because let's be real.
Perfect. Thank
The
you.
amount of people online who are talking about it in this like wonderful, almost like, I don't describe it. People are, I don't know how to put it. People are idolizing him. More people are going to kill themselves. I mean, that's just a matter of fact. It's just, there's just more people going to kill themselves. I don't think suicide's funny. I don't think it's anything that we should encourage. I think it's pretty much always bad. And while I can appreciate his dedication, I mean, to put it mildly, you know, if I can appreciate his dedication and his conviction, right? I mean, like unbelievable. Self-immolation is literally suicide. He killed himself. Sorry, I don't know what that's another weird dialogue. They go, no. Everybody goes, yeah, we agree, suicide's bad, get help. But then they go, unless you're doing it for a good cause, then you can kill yourself. Like, no, this is not something to romanticize ever. Sorry. You should 100% do more research on self-immolation as protest. Yeah, you know who does self-immolation? Fucking,
I really desperately need someone to get a clip to Ethan Klein. So if there's any people here who can work their magic, please go for it, go crazy. Ethan Klein has such a bad habit of creating these like boogeymen that exist on the left. And he insists that they're there. He's like, no, they're here. I saw them with my own eyes. And when you look for them, none of them are there. All of the people he's saying are like glorifying it and romanticizing it. These people don't exist. I haven't seen these people. Like, I need you to source your fucking shit, Ethan. If you see someone glorifying it, you need to show us the fucking post. Show us the post. Show us. Stop making up nonsense. Guys, stop. They're saying all this crazy stuff online. Oh my God. It's there, but it's just like 3 follower, 10 like Twitter posts. Oh my God.
people who are like under tyrannical rule, who have literally no way for their voices to be heard other than that.
Also, the complete lack of self-awareness. Self-immolation is for people who feel like they have no other way to get what they want. Oh, I don't know. You mean like the Palestinian people? And then here he's going to say like, well, they've been offered a bunch of deals. Yeah, fuck off, man. Oh my God. Every single 2-state solution that Palestinians have been offered has been like, okay, well, what if we give you this tiny piece of land and we take the rest and then we call it a day? We promise we won't build settlements in your area. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no shit that they're not going to accept those type of fucking deals. Come on, please. There's some more of it like this.
I don't think we should romanticize it. Haven't seen anyone romanticizing. Are you fucking kidding me? Have you been online? Everybody's glamorizing it. Oh my God, how can you even disagree with me on that? That's crazy. Like the amount of people online who are like, I understand why people want to go like, he's a hero. Like I understand that because he made this ultimate sacrifice the most gruesome way possible, right? And so I understand the impulse of being like, I want to honor that sacrifice. Monks do self-immolation. Yeah, I know. When they're like under tyrannical oppression by the Chinese and have literally no way for the voices to be heard.
I love that he managed to get in a China bad comment. It's great. Mwah.
But I mean, the Palestinian cause is for sure plenty talked about. I'm sorry. Suicide bad. I don't think we should romanticize it. I haven't seen anyone romanticize it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and then the clip loops. And then there's this one.
This can be present and moral goodness can also be present at the same time. And I think that that's just like, I don't understand when people say it wasn't suicide, just because I don't understand the logistics surrounding like the definition of it.
It's because you're right. It is because they're carving out a moral barrier for themselves to say, oh yeah, well in this case, killing yourself is great. But it's not. That's because it's not suicide. It is. It is. He killed himself. He has family. He has.
Who is they? Who the fuck is they?
Friends, presumably. He has people that are going to be affected by him leaving the planet in that way. It's suicide. It literally is suicide. He was a service member. Well, then, did he have any delusion about what the United States military was? The ones that like killed 1 million fucking Iraqis like a decade before? Why did he join? I think he was mentally ill. I think what you said is right, Olivia. I think he did. I think he did something that in his mind didn't hurt anybody, and he made the ultimate sacrifice for what he thought was a righteous cause of paramount importance. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I think people need to be absolutely careful with how they fucking put him on a pedestal, because you're going to end, because more people are going to kill themselves. And I don't think suicide should ever be glamorized. Even when a fucking monk does it, and it's like...
Okay, now this kind of brings me to my magnum opus. And this is where I feel like Ethan Klein's argument is kind of like nonsensical. And he kind of is just saying whatever the fuck he wants to say because he thinks that that's going to do well. He was mentally ill. Aaron Bushnell was a mentally ill person, and that is the only reason that he went and killed himself. But also B, everyone glamorizing Aaron Bushnell is going to go cause them to kill themselves. So which is it? Is it that mentally stable people are going to go light themselves on fire? Or is it that the only people that light themselves on fire are mentally ill people? I don't think that it can be both. I just don't agree. Additionally, I don't think that it is so brave or bold of a take to say that Aaron Bushnell probably did deal with mental health issues. And I do think that someone that would take that level of extreme action is someone who probably has some mental health issues. Now, I don't know if Aaron Bushnell actually had any. I don't know. Fucking who doesn't have some mental illness nowadays? Yeah. But being mentally ill doesn't void your opinions. Being mentally ill doesn't mean that you are just automatically wrong about what you stand for. Like, he could have been mentally ill. And I do think, generally speaking, people that are of sound mind tend to not kill themselves. But him being mentally ill, let's just pretend, let's live in Ethan's world, right? Him being mentally ill does not change the fact that what is happening in Palestine is a fucking genocide. It doesn't change the fact that the cause that he cares about is a just cause. Like wanting the Palestinians to be free, that is a just cause. He can be as mentally ill as he wanted to be. He could have every mental illness. And guess what? Him being anti-genocide is still based. Now, of course, there are people in chat talking about the fact that Aaron Bushnell literally has had people say that he was of sound mind and that they would have never expected him to do this. And that he didn't have any, what is it called? mental illness or whatever that would cause him to want to commit suicide. But did you see that Bushnell left in his will all that stuff is going to Palestinian kids, right? That's insane. I actually did not see that part of the story. You guys understand the point that I'm making, though, right? That Ethan Klein wants to have his cake and he wants to eat it too. He wants to make the claim that Aaron Bushnell was someone who's clearly mentally unwell and that's why he committed suicide. And also, everyone saying nice things about him on the internet is going to cause people to kill themselves. But I thought only mentally ill people were doing it. So unless you're going to tell me, and this is, I think, the really creme de la creme. Ethan Klein believes a post on the internet can radicalize you to self-immolate, but not living in Israel radicalizes you. Okay. Which is just like just chef's kiss cherry on top. Living in Israel, no. That won't make you hate Palestinian people. Never. Seeing people say, respect it. Aaron Bushnell, R.I.P. Aaron Bushnell. That will get you to go self-immolate. And besides the fact that it's fucking stupid and we should just leave it at that, first of all, this isn't happening, right? People aren't doing this. And in fact, he even says so afterward. He says, like, people aren't doing it. So I don't know, like, maybe we can find... Let's play the rest of the clip.
Wow, it should be more like, dude, that's fucking crazy. And it's horrible also. It's absolutely mental health. Then why isn't okay, people go, it's not a mental health issue. Then why the fuck isn't there tons of other people doing it? I'm sorry. You don't set yourself on fire. If he's a martyr, Jesus Christ. Some of y'all are lost. I don't know what to say. Some of y'all like sometimes.
So do you see what I mean when I say what I say? That, like, his claim is that people aren't lining up to do this because people are mentally sane. But one Twitter post is going to convince these people to go kill themselves? Oh, come on. I don't think so. I don't think you can have both. He then later says that and then, so this is the oh my God. This is the cream of the crop. At the end of this video, he talks about how a Palestinian self-immolating, it was actually good. Well, let's get to it.
Sometimes wonders if, like, I don't know, man. Chat is so fucking weird. I agree. People under tyrannical, so Palestinians. No, but there are people whose voices can't be heard. Also, the dude's not even Palestinian. If he was, you know what I mean? Like, nobody in Palestine is, like, going to the fucking barbed wire fence of the wall and setting themselves on fire.
This is so stupid. As if you can't care about an issue if you do not belong to a group. Don't be silly. Come on.
If someone did that, it'd probably be like, wow, that's fucking, like, that would hit me maybe harder. Again, not to trivialize it. However, you have to be mentally ill to set yourself on fire. Especially, I'm sorry. Then why aren't people going and doing it? There's a billion people talking about Twitter, so why isn't there a whole fucking Congo line of people self-immolating outside of the Israeli consulate?
Ah, please, man. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Gee, Willie. And now this is sort of the same guy who didn't know about the March of Return massacre in Palestine. It's insanity. So this sort of takes me to the end of this point, and then we can get into the next point, tangential to this. It's exactly like the Vietnam self-immolation IDF used and continue to use U.S. Yeah. Okay. I can't believe I used to like him. My man has lost the plot. He just has completely lost the plot, and he doesn't recognize that what he's saying is super tone deaf. And people are genuinely going to be offended at what he's saying because it's fucked up. But my biggest problem here's my biggest problem. When he ends it there by saying, well, if it was a Palestinian person killing themselves, that would make me stop and think. It completely ruins his ability to say, no, I just think suicide is bad. Once he commits to the position of, well, a Palestinian doing it would be like, okay. You've thrown out the window that it's like you only care about suicide, which let's be clear. Like, I mean, If you only care about suicide, you would give a fuck about all the veterans that kill themselves. But you don't. And it means that everyone, I made a very milquetoast tweet in my personal opinion. And there were people that, like, I guess they're like Ethan Klein fans, I assume, that were like replying to it. And again, I'll just read it out. I think Ethan Klein commentary on Aaron makes sense if you don't think that the situation in Gaza is dire. Imagine a well-off guy. So, like, as an example, imagine a well-off guy self-immolating because he doesn't want to pay taxes. Suddenly, anyone showing respect appears to be glorifying suicide because the reason is silly. That is to say that if someone self-immolates for a stupid reason, anyone saying like, yeah, that guy was based, you would be like, you're just glorifying suicide. If I was like, I'm going to light myself on fire because I'm tired of pancakes existing. I don't want to see pancakes anymore. Anyone who then showed respect to me would be glorifying suicide because I did not die for a good reason. I died for a fucking stupid ass reason. Pancakes are not a good reason to die for. Like, that is just not. And I think you only have the perspective, like, if you want to like try and put yourself into like Ethan Klein's shoes for 2 seconds, I think when you close your eyes and you think about like, what would compel a man to give so little of a shit about someone who's self-immolating for a genuinely heartbreaking cause? I think if you close your eyes and you think, well, the situation in Palestine isn't that dire, the people can still do something. He killed himself for no reason. Then yeah, anyone who is showing respect for Aaron Bushnell at that point does look like they're glorifying suicide. Of course, the problem is there is a very big difference between self-immolating for a cause that is not worth self-immolating for and a cause that is worth. Now, who determines what is and what isn't? I'm not going to get into the specifics of that. I think that that's a silly semantics argument. Now, I made this tweet just to sort of explain that I think that the nonchalant attitude that Ethan Klein has, it stems from a perspective of like Israeli propaganda, and he just doesn't think that the situation in Gaza is that bad. And I think that's why he has the opinions that he has. But the crazy thing is, despite the fact that at the end of this clip, he literally says, well, a Palestinian person setting themselves on fire would be different. All of his like sympathizers and his dick riders look really stupid. Like this guy, self-immolating regardless of the cause is not healthy and it is glorifying suicide. It just is. There's no argument you can make that says otherwise. You're celebrating someone for killing themselves, making a political statement you agree with. Oh, so I'm sure, sir, you're in Ethan Klein's mentions as well to tell him that him attempting to glorify someone who was Palestinian who wanted to set themselves on fire. That person was also glorifying suicide, right? Right? It's just silly. The argument it falls apart. You can't hold both things to be true. You can't think that people are glorifying Aaron Bushnell's death and then also think, well, if a Palestinian killed themselves, it'd be different. Stupid. It's really dumb. It's really, really stupid. Really, really dumb. And he's also not trying to learn. Yeah. Yeah. Olivia reacting to Ethan, not realizing she was on mic, then trying to do damage control was brutal. And it sucks too, because like the people at H3 are all so cool and they're all really genuinely nice people, or at least all the ones that I've run into and had the pleasure of meeting. Yeah, like Olivia is one person a lot of people bring up. AB, another person, Dan, another person, Sam, Ian. They're all like really great people. I just like, it's just sad. It's just so sad. Okay, but to be fair, like Ethan Klein. So then, you know what? Let's get into it. First, as a quick sidebar, this is how you can tell that he is so out of touch, that Ethan Klein is so out of touch with thinking that people are going to go kill themselves. People are going to go self-immolate because they saw that, when in reality, this is what's happening. A moving act of solidarity as veterans burned their uniforms at a vigil for Aaron Bushnell hosted by Veterans Against War. this was after some extremely moving speeches, including a Vietnam War veteran who was part of the SDS and did a lot of anti-war organizing. This alone should be proof that, like, you can respect and show respect to someone who gave their life without glorifying suicide. Like, I don't think any of these people are glorifying suicide. They're saying, like, fuck this country, fuck this military, fuck what it stands for, fuck this war. How many more lives does it have to take? It is a disgrace to have this uniform. Fathi Harb self-immolated as a protest, 21-year-old Palestinian man with a kid on the way. He was desperate enough to do the same thing that Aaron Bushnell did. Aaron Bushnell dismissed by Zionist types as mentally ill. Fathi Harbi IDK if they know, and they would be considered adequate protests in their eyes. Yeah. Anyways, you can know for sure that, like, Ethan Klein is super out of touch when his own fan base is upset at him for this bullshit. Like, as someone who, I used to watch Ethan Klein, like, way back in the day, like, very, very early Ethan Klein. I've talked about this a million times before. And then I stopped watching because he got too big into, like, the anti-SJW stuff, and he just got too big into, like, making fun of these woke feminists or whatever. And I was like, go back to doing React content. That was funny. And now his fan base is thinking the same thing, which is stop talking about politics. You are not a political commentator. You need to stop. Like, you do not have the capability to discuss these issues in a respectful manner. Go back to doing the comedy things. That's what we watched you for. I remember when he did Funny Vape Nage, but then just, like, went anti-SJW Jordan Peterson interviews. Yeah, I remember Vape Nage days. My brother stopped watching him recently. He's been a fan for years. Yeah. And so, like, let's read some of the stances here. It says, even Ethan Klein's fans on H3 subreddit are canceling his Zionist ass LOL. I'm a longtime fan. I honestly don't remember life before H3, but I can't take any more of this shit. With peace and love, Ethan needs to stop trying to engage with nuanced political discussion. With Hassan not around, Dan seemingly no longer willing to debate his boss, understandable. It's just developed into Ethan throwing out half-baked, ill-informed opinions, doing Bosch and Destiny-style tone policing of supposed leftists he sees on Twitter, and hurling insults at anyone in chat who dares call him out. Ethan, you are not a political commentator. You're a funny-ass comedian, and while it's clear your heart is in the right place, you just don't have the background or knowledge to engage with these topics responsibly on such a large platform. And I think that that is, like, just beautifully said. He's, like, afraid of this boogeyman that is leftists on Twitter that don't exist, or they're, like, 2 follower accounts. Clearly not mainstream opinions. Clearly just some fucking 14-year-olds on their computer that are not worth discussing. That's fucking stupid. But if you can't get on a fucking stream without saying, man, that guy really lit himself on fire like a champ, maybe you shouldn't be talking about political, like, happenings. Maybe you shouldn't be doing that if you can't control yourself for 2 fucking seconds. For 2 seconds. Even the couple that got engaged at their live show are now ashamed at proposing at the show because of Ethan's take. That's so sad. I've been a fan for years. I took a break after the Hassan split came back for the Bachelor fun. Immediately, I'm back out again. Never again. Yeah. And, like, he's never going to see this, obviously, because he just avoids anything that might make him rethink his perspective. But I don't even think that he's a bad guy. I just think that he's kind of an idiot. I think that there is, by the way, a huge difference between someone who's, like, genuinely kind of evil, like Ben Shapiro, and someone like Ethan Klein, who feels like it's just that he's, like, a very ignorant person. And he is too close-minded to recognize for even 2 seconds that maybe he's wrong. I don't think he's a bad person. Even with all of the shit that he like all the way that he targets people and acts towards people, even with that, I think that like he's just like, I hate to say it in this way, but I think he's just too puny brained. Like he doesn't like when people are mean to him on the internet, he's like, you guys are being so mean to me just because I want to say that Israel has a right to defend itself. Anyways, Frogan, I fucking hate you, Frogan, and I fucking hate read your Twitter posts, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna say it, Frogan, fuck you. It's like, how do you're just a fucking idiot? Like to not recognize that you do to other people the thing that you claim to hate. You're such a fucking cry bully. Oh my God. Lord Almighty. Peep, thank you for the 4 months. Mostly realizing that I may not have all the information to reach a decent conclusion. I mean, like, of course, like everyone in here, there is something that you don't know about. Like, I don't fucking know every political issue happening every fucking where. But I also don't speak with confidence about things that I don't know a lot about. Like, until I sit down and read some literature from people who have studied the situation in Burma, until I sit down and listen to people who actually have been on the ground in Myanmar and actually understand the situation and have written extensively about it for decades, until I consume that material and feel like I have a good understanding of what's happening there, I'm not going to speak with a level of confidence like that. I'm going to be like, okay, well, we're going to watch some videos today and try and learn more about this. But he just refuses to engage in that. He's just like, well, I don't give a fuck if I know enough. I'm going to say what I want to say. I have no idea what this chat means. Be Joshers. Okay. And then let's watch the other clip that I have prepared from this before we move on to the
My first
Frogan
reaction.
conversation. Stop it. Is the, oh no, where did I put it? Here it is. Him doubling down on this.
Dude, no one is glamorizing it. Dude, I don't know what world you're living in. If you don't see that, I don't know what to say. Like, people are literally glamorizing it. I've seen images of him on fire being like, free Palestine. And they're turning him into a cultural, they're trying to turn him into a cultural icon. And whether you agree with that or not, you know, and not to comment on his cause, which is, I said, again, is just, and I understand, and his resolve is incredible. But I do think that, you know, trying to ignore the fact that the man killed himself and that there's probably not some mental health issues at play here is remarkably, what's the word? It's like reactionary. It's what it is, which is why it remarks me as so fucking odd that this is coming from the left. They're exhibiting really reactionary traits when they're saying like it's not suicide. Because here, this is the way I explained it, and I think this is good. When you watch the video, he's pulling the gasoline on himself, and
DNML.
Bro, like does he know? Oh my God.
He's a fucking icon. Okay, good. You can believe that. I'm just trying to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, he doesn't want to say the word martyr. Yep. Mm-hmm.
If somebody came and stopped him, there was guards and like, excuse me, what are you doing, sir? Right before he, you know, lit himself on fire. If someone was able to tackle him and prevent him from lighting himself on fire before he did, and, you know, get him some mental health evaluation and get him some help and stuff, clearly he's in a vulnerable point in his life.
Also, isn't it reactive to completely sidestep the protest and dismiss it as mental illness? Yes. I mean, it has the same energy as people who are like, it's not a gun problem. It's a mental health problem in our country. It's like, no, it's a fucking gun problem. Yeah, mental health might be an aspect of it, but it's a fucking gun problem.
Can at least say that. Now, in 10 years from now, do you think he's going to look back and say, I wish I burned alive? Or do you think he'll say, I'm so grateful that I was stopped from doing that.
Mhm.
Because, and by the way, this man has friends, he has family, he has people that are going to be deeply affected by his suicide. And again, there's this magical thinking that it's not a suicide. That's just so weird. You know, it's not a suicide until it, we don't believe in suicide and we're pro mental health unless it's for a good cause. Then, you know, then go for it. You know, you hear this all the time about from survivors of suicide attempts that they have a moment of clarity that ultimately they're like, realize, I don't know if he went through that. I mean, again, his resolve was pretty apparent. But in 10 years from now, I'm pretty sure that he's more likely to say, I'm glad I'm alive and that.
How do I say that this is not relevant at all? Saying, well, this guy would be happy
Honestly,
he
I
didn't
wish
kill
Ethan would
himself.
shut the fuck up when it comes to Palestine. He's too brain poisoned to recognize a genocide.
Like, how can you sit down and be like, well, maybe if he didn't kill himself in 10 years, I bet he'd be really happy that he didn't. What does that have anything to do with anything? If it's also such a serious mental health issue, why do you make jokes about it? Well, listen, okay, man, stop. All right. How dare you call him out? How dare you? My name is Memes. Thank you for the tier 1. Oh, this is a good opportunity while people are stuck in ad purgatory. Ads currently playing, guys. Subscribe with the Prime. One subscription makes my cold last another day longer. It's true. It's actually true. But let me read the alerts while everyone is sitting in ad purgatory really quickly, just as a thank you and apology for being gone for so long.
We need to get Bill Burr back on the podcast to set Ethan straight again.
I know. At least Bill Burr's probably a little bit more sane on this point. Cable, and thank you for the 6 months. Audio, thank you so much for the 3 months. Lily, thank you for the 4 months. Anon, thank you for the gift sub. Real slow like, thank you for the 7 months. Seductive, thank you so much for the 17. Bumble, thank you for the 6. Jimmy, thank you for the 5 months. CT5s, thank you for the 13.
DNM Cozy, DNM Cozy.
Michael McAllister, thank you for the 29. Sister Motes, thank you for the 9 months. Spiky Sparky, thank you for the 13. All Want to See, thank you for 32 months. Thank you. Moonshade Pool, thank you for the 29. Joe Mama, real original buddy. Thank you for the 7 months. Strawman, thank you for the 46 months. Mumble, thank you for the 6 months. Weira, thank you for the 14. Razio Prime, thank you for the 7 months. Awesome Bomber, thank you for the 4 months. Sock, thank you for the 5 months. Hensa, thank you for the 8 months. Tax Evasion Count, thank you for the 11 months. Annoyed.
DNM Wiggle, DNM Slay.
Annoyed at Society, good name. Thank you for the Prime. Natalie Rose, thank you for the 5 months. Fails, thank you for the 5 months. Dom, thank you for the 17. JP, thank you for the 23. 3x Dot, thank you for the Prime. Anonymous, thank you for the 5 months. Dark, thank you for the 2 months. Tax Evasion Account, thank you for the gift sub. Tennessee, thank you for the 7 months. Brungo, thank you for the Prime. Peep, thank you for the 4 months. Strawberry Library, thank you for the Prime. Grox, thank you for the 8 months. My name is Memes, thank you for the tier 1. Puerto Rican, thank you so much for the 3 months. Yaki Boring, thank you for the 8 months. Tacoma Web, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Spade Set, thank you for the 7 months. Spud Lightyear, thank you for the... Oh, God.
DNM
Guys, stop. There's too many to read. Stop. I keep thinking I'm going to... Okay, I think I finally caught up. GTI Chatter, thank you for the 17. Alary, thank you for the 7. Yedic, thank you for the 31. Perilous, thank you for the gift sub. Okay. Oh, wait, there's still a couple. Spade Set, thank you for the gift sub. Afro, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Canola, thank you for the 35 months. I think that's everyone. Thank you. Thank you guys, really. I'm so sweaty. Oh, who made me sweaty? Oh, okay. Jisoo, thank you for the 18 months. Villainy, thank you for the 2 gift subs. Sheesh, thank you for the 5 months. Thank you, guys. Okay, enough about that. Yeah, I think that's like Can you go over those who missed it because of the ads? Well, luckily, shut the fuck up. I cannot believe I got baited at you. I can't, stop it. Under the weather? I was like going to answer genuine. I was like, oh, you didn't miss anything because I was just reading subs. And then I realized, fuck you. Fuck you. Alrighty. Anyways, is the sweater? Yeah, it's just like my apartment is really hot. Let me, okay, so going back really quickly to finish up on the first segment of Ethan Klein being a moron, there's like more posts from his own community telling him that like he is so out of touch. This thread I think is pretty useful. It's getting pretty frustrating to pay for membership because I feel like Ethan just uses it to talk about Israel Palestine since he can't handle the criticism when he does it on the main EPs. Valid criticism, IMO. Just admit you're having a hard time with your own personal biases and leave it be. That's why I decided to cancel. It's too blatant how he cannot take criticism for this topic and he keeps talking about it regardless. The way he kept going, what, super aggressively to Olivia for making a sound after one of his dumbass takes was crazy. Yeah, I had to cancel my membership a few weeks ago. It's getting harder and harder to watch the show. I'm at that point now, 2.5-year membership ending next Friday. Mine was right after Ethan going on Hassan's stream and Ethan using the most absolute bad faith Zionist talking points, and for Hassan to keep a level-headed tone and attitude with him really painted a clearer picture on Ethan's biases. I still love the crew. I still follow and support them. And I've seen Olivia constantly posting about following and liking posts on IG about the importance of Palestinians. Really warms my heart. I've seen Dan, Cam, Sam do it as well. I still have the crew. I still lurk a bit. Hassan still speaks of Ethan in high regard as a friend of the stream. I still believe some hope change in Ethan. I think the problem is that any part of Ethan that might want to make him change his opinion is immediately dissolved by the fact that he is literally...
I know I am usually trolling you, but a chatter mentioned that a lot of this emotional response stems from people identifying this with behavior like suicide bombing that they usually reserve in their assumptions for brown people.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Where like when people see brown people doing it, it's like, oh, fucking terrorists. Oh, you don't value fucking life. And then when they see white people do it, it's like, he must have been mentally ill. It's like, okay, dude. Luddite, thank you for the tier 1. He legit lived in Israel for a while. Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, I think any part of him that might want to make him change his mind is immediately dissuaded by the fact that he's married to someone who's an Israeli that served in the IDF. And anytime he like maybe starts making strides away from like pro-genocide rhetoric, he immediately gets pulled back by presumably Elam. I could be wrong. I don't know him. I don't know his life. I just know that like when your family members believe something, family members in this context also meaning like your life partner, it's very tempting and it happens very often that you start to adopt those principles and those beliefs as well. It's just how it is. And it's because you want your personal life to continue to be positive and you don't want to have a huge disagreement on whether or not there's a fucking genocide happening. It's too inconvenient. But yeah, I mean, like when your own community, people who have been subscribed to you for years are saying you need to fucking stop. I feel like you should listen. I mean, like, and I've said it before. I mean, if you are a fucking 10-minute follower and you're telling me something, yeah, no shit, I'm going to tell you to go fuck off. Okay. I actually don't think you're very good at doing this or that. I don't care. You've been here for 10 minutes. I don't have to value your opinion, sir. But I've said it before. If I ever cover something in a way that you feel like hurt you or is detrimental to please ignore my voice cracking. I'm sick. Or you believe it's like I was engaging in language that was in some way like offensive, please email me. Please email me and tell me. I'm always open to learn more, especially from people actually in the community. Because if you're in the community and you've watched for a while, you probably have a good understanding of like what my personal political views are. You're probably going to be pretty charitable to me. And if you have a problem with what I'm saying, I want to hear it. Because I know you're not coming from a bad faith place. I know you're coming from I want to stay in this community. I like this community, but I don't feel comfortable with this or this. Obviously, I'm not ever going to go fucking pro-genocide. But a good example would be people, for example, who say like the lizard people or like the Jewish space lasers. And like that would be something, I don't say it because it's, I don't want to encourage it because it has roots in anti-Semitism. But if I was saying something like that, I would appreciate someone emailing me and telling me, hey, I just want you to know that conspiracy theories, it's like, it's all rooted in like anti-Semitism, and that's where it all comes from. And whenever you propagate that, you're also bringing more attention to the anti-Semitism stuff. Okay, cool. I would appreciate being notified of that or like knowing about that. Well, yeah. Anywho, okay. Yeah, at this point, he's made it clear he's either a Zionist or Zionist adjacent in his views. I'm just mad that there's no one left to call him out on his dog shit take since Dan has given up on challenging him. And since he ran away from leftovers like a pussy, I should have seen the clear writing on the wall back when he and Hila said that they were essentially calling Olivia uneducated when they saw she liked a piece of art on Twitter bearing from the river to the sea. He canceled the one show where his views would be challenged to end up shitting out the most brain-dead Zionist takes behind a paywall. Absolutely bitch-made behavior. I know Hila's views just have to be as vile. I mean, Hila's views are probably more extreme, I would guess, from considering that she served in the IDF. Oh, thank you, T-Pain. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel bad for Olivia. Yeah, I just want to say that, please don't take your feelings about Ethan Klein out on the staff that works there. Because like a lot of those people, they didn't know that their boss was going to be a fucking gigantic Israel sympathizer. They just wanted to make funny videos for the funny man on the internet. Oh. Okay. Dan is clearly not a Zionist. I mean, yeah. Hila's pretty much said that she hates Arabs. I mean, she fucking grew up in Israel and went served in the military. They teach you to hate them. That's how they get people to sign up for the fucking IDF. It's actually a unavoidable draft. Okay, my bad. Okay. So enough on that. Let's move on to something way worse. It's actually not worse. It's slightly less worse. Slightly less bad. But for some reason, he decided to go after Rogan. I don't understand why. I genuinely do not. And let me pull up the tweets. So Frogan tweeted recently, just so you guys can know, Frogan at no point mentioned or was talking about Ethan Klein. All right. This is a very important, very, very important detail to note. Okay. She was literally just talking about her experiences with a therapist. He was not relevant in this discussion. Alrighty. And she tweeted out on February 29th. I started therapy 5 years after a bad experience with a Zionist therapy. I sought out women of color therapists, assuming relative empathy, mentioned Palestine, and the new therapist sees it as just another place and not caring or being knowledgeable due to the discrimination that she faces in the U.S. So she tweeted this out. And she references her experience going to a therapist that was a Zionist back in 2019. Here is her tweet that she made in 2019, where she says, I went to therapy for the first time after talking about my dad fleeing the Israel-Lebanon war. And she said, I'm Israeli. Do you have any issues with me being your therapist? This is the person that she was talking about. This is the instance she's talking about. She's saying, hey, I went and I was recently seeking out therapy because I thought it would help my mental health. And good to know that my current therapist literally just doesn't give a fuck at all about anything Palestine related and probably doesn't understand and won't understand my mental health if they don't even understand something like this. And this is after the last therapist I had was a fucking Zionist. Now, Ethan Klein sees this. He did not see this original tweet. He only saw this tweet. Or sorry, excuse me. He only saw this tweet that says Zionist therapist. And let's see what he had to say about it. I'm sure it'll be like intellectual.
I'm going to say this because it pissed me the fuck off. And being an anti-Semite openly and proudly is now likes on Twitter. Frogan, she tweeted out, she goes, I have a problem with my Zionist therapist. Just call him a fucking Jew. I'm sorry, but that you can't talk like that about any other fucking minority. I had a problem with my Zionist therapist. What you taught your Zionist therapist? Did you get those level of details from them? You had an in-depth conversation about the politics of Zionism with your therapist? No, I know what you mean. You mean fucking Jew. You know, I'm not going to sit here and let my fucking people, be openly bigoted and racist. Fuck that shit. Nobody would expect that from any other minority. Nobody. It's disgusting. It is. And I'm here. I'm with you. I'm going to say this because it pissed me the fuck.
I don't need to explain this. Anti-Zionism does not equal anti-Semitism. You guys are not so stupid to make this dumb mistake. To which she not quote tweeted, but she linked the video and she says, when I say my therapist was a Zionist, when I went to her back in 2019, I mean, she literally brought up that I was Lebanese unprompted and confronted me on it, saying that she was Israeli. She asked if I had a problem with that, if I felt like Israel had the right to exist. She started asking more questions and if I was frustrated with Islam and if I've considered taking off my hijab. I asked her if she was all right with me being Lebanese, and she got really aggressive, accusing me of flipping it on her, and she refused to answer. So when I say Zionist, no, I don't mean that she was Jewish. I mean she was a racist Israeli who could not help herself but to confront me about my ethnicity, in what was supposed to be a therapy session. This is what I mean when I said that I think Ethan Klein has fucking lost it, and he is just fighting boogeymen. He is just fighting boogeymen. He sees something and it hurts his feelings a little bit, and he just assumes that he is right. So he sees that he's like, Zionist therapy, fuck you. What do you mean Zionist therapist? Oh, really? Let me get this straight. You went and talked to your therapist and they revealed to you in an in-depth conversation that they were a Zionist? Actually, yeah. Yeah, actually, yes. No cap, I've literally used an hour-long therapy session to discuss socialism and my fears of EU rising fascism. People talk in depth politics and therapy. Is that real, Soy Shroom? Listen, there's one thing that's important here. One thing that's very important Does he stalk her tweets? Like, or does he just get like a boner whenever he gets a tweet of hers that's about Israel? Like someone sends him the tweet and they're like, look, Vrogan is saying stuff. Oh my God, dude, please go get a life. Holy moly. He's like, he wasn't mentioned. If like, hear me out. If the name Ethan Klein was mentioned here, I'd be like, oh, okay, fair game. You bring someone else up, they're allowed to respond. That's fair. That is a fair thing to say. She didn't even talk about you. She didn't mention you. She was just talking about her experiences going to therapy. What? This is it. This is like this is the content of the week. This is it for you. This is what you need to stop doing. You have to stop doing everything and tell people, guys. Frogan made a tweet. What? Slow news day? Like, what's up? Oh my goodness. Like, at the very least, again, please. Can you guys fucking please just do some, and by you guys, I don't mean you guys, I mean like Ethan Klein. Do some research before you start fucking talking about something. Maybe he just doesn't experience the emotion of like embarrassment or shame. Because he's done it multiple times that he'll say something completely incorrect. Oh, I don't know who this Denims person is, a Hassan mod or something. Yeah. And then he just says whatever the fuck he wants, not based in reality at all. Please, just a little bit of research. You literally have people that you hire. Just ask one of the people that you hire to do the work for you. But I get it. All brown women are basically the same. So I can't even be mad at him. This is crazy, though. Also, come on, guys. Let's be real. You really think that I would mod for someone that had a house? You think I would mod for someone with a small head? You don't know me very well. Okay? I only mod for real socialists, not fake socialists. That would be fucking gross. That would be gross. I know Jewish hate is disturbingly normalized, but Twitch making the most enthusiastically October 7th supporter and obvious anti-Semite legendary woman of the year is unbelievable. And it's the fact that I guess Frogan recently is being featured. Let me read it out. Exciting news! At Twitch has chosen me to be featured as a legendary woman on the front page, quote, Together for Legendary Women front page carousel, not just for March, but for the entire year. And then it's like a bunch of other tweets. I don't know why this one was, hey, on Twitter, are you aware? Frogan was so excited about the October 7th attacks. She scolded other leftists for not knowing what revolution looks like. Why are you promoting actual jihadists? That was supposed to sound more nerdy, but it came off as just more Simpson. Marge Simpson. A leftist preaching foam at the mouth. Somewhere. Hey, homie. Let me get some water. I just think they're neat. Oh man. Okay. Started, and then it's on the, I guess, Destiny subreddit. Started therapy 5 years ago, blah, 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 blah. This is not, guys, this is not an anti-Semitic tweet. I don't even know what has to be wrong with your brain to think that this is anti-Semitic. I don't get it. Also, like, there are plenty of people who are Zionists who are not even Jewish. Like, being Jewish is, I would say, for most people that engage with the news about Israel and about Palestine, the fact that the people in Israel are Jewish is sort of not really relevant in the conversation. Like, to better explain, I don't care that the people genociding Palestinians are Jewish. I wouldn't care if they were other Arabs. I wouldn't care if they were Christians. I wouldn't care. They're still doing a genocide. I don't care who the people are. I just care that people are getting genocided. The religion that those people happen to subscribe to is not relevant.